Welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and this is going to be my reviews for comics released on August 11th, 2021. This is going to be my part one. Hopefully only a two-parter this week. It was a lighter week. All these are going to be DC, and there will be time codes down below. First up, we got Rorschach number 11 out of 12. We are almost done with the series. I can say I'm going to need a second read once it is complete. Because of the spacing of the comic, it took a lot longer for this to come out. Excuse me. It is basically still set up in the two style format, and basically in this issue it is kind of setting up that Rorschach is, even though he is dead, his spirit is out there, and he is possessing certain individuals, to take up the moniker of Rorschach. We are following the detective, and he is talking to the cowgirl. It is set in like a future and past tense situation where somehow he is in the future and she is in the past. I'm just going to show random artwork and basically go through the issue, and if you don't know, I kind of review and talk about all aspects of the comics, so I do spoil stuff. If you have not read any of these and don't feel like hearing it, skip ahead, But basically it is setting up the idea that she, through leaving certain clues, her and the new Rorschach, and the failed assassination attempt on the senator. Now the detective, following the clues, and putting in more of his own free time and going beyond in the investigation, more of an obsession now. He himself is picking up the track of becoming the next Rorschach, and it gets to the point where they show in different metaphors, past and present. But slowly but surely, it seems that the detective is picking up, that he's going to take the moniker. They kind of show this scene right here that was really amazing. Was the past? It's supposed to be like the second in it, variation of the Rorschach at the assassination plot, and then the detective in the next scene they show him getting his head blown off. Of course, this is all like in his head and everything, and it's just him being reborn as the new Rorschach. And at the very end, it's not a scene that makes a whole lot of sense to me, but they should just show him with a wealthy man talking about the investigation, and really the wealthy man is talking about how he likes California versus New York, but that was issue number 11 to 12, and like I said, I'm gonna do a full review on the story in a whole once I've reread everything, because there's a lot of the political stuff that's going on in the background. Next up is Justice League, the Last Ride number 4. It's just a side story kind of event, and it's set up with a before and after. It is basically the Justice League, and they took Lobo to Apocalypse, which now is deceased due to some events that we didn't know, and that's the events we're about to get. And basically, it's this war between the Justice League and Apocalypse and Darkseid and his forces, and it's basically set up this whole battle between them two, and at the end of it, to finally take out Apocalypse, the power source. They have learned that it's going to take like an astronomical powerful hero to do it. The two being like either Martian Manhunter or Superman. Superman is battling Darkseid at the moment, and Batman and Martian Manhunter are near the core where the power source is. So it's deemed that Martian Manhunter is going to do the deed of taking out the power source. All the other superheroes are against this. Wonder Woman currently is like wounded during this. Batman is for it, but it's more on the principle like sacrifice a life, for like millions type of thing. They do show you that all the Justice Leaguers are struggling with Darkseid and all his forces. But eventually, Martian Manhunter does make the ultimate sacrifice, and he dies, and also takes out the power source that fueled Darkseid's factories, and kills basically Apocalypse. And then it sets us up with the current situation where the Justice League are on Apocalypse, and they're basically using it as a prison while they take Lobo to to await his trial. And now other bad forces and good forces and people that want to just get Lobo for many different reasons are after Lobo. So right now Wonder Woman and John Stewart, the Green Lantern, are out in space trying to defend him. Planetside, Batman and Green Lantern are trying to figure out what to do with Lobo and where to go, kind of thing. They do have Superman is specifically protecting Lobo, and in the last issue Lobo was trying to get in his head, and Superman was basically telling him it's not working. He kind of does the same thing with Flash, and it does seem that it works with Flash a little bit. They do kind of go back up into the space, and they show you that they have multiple heavy contenders coming for Lobo, and the first one being Mongol, and he's coming from space, might have Battle Planet with him. But they also show on the ground forces that maybe Apocalypse wasn't as vacant as they thought, and Cyborg Superman has showed up with a sizable force behind him to so it looks like we're going to get some more action-packed goodness. Next up, we have Infinity Frontier number 4 of 6. Following the whole multiverse events after the Dark Knight Death Metal series, we are caught up with Captain Carrot and Machine Head, and they are talking about the investigation of the ship that's able to travel through multiverses, the current investigation, because technically the multiverse in the DC universe, but not everybody can travel through the multiverses when right now they're being monitored. We catch up with President Superman and future Flashpoint Batman, Thomas Wayne, and they are back at Earth 23 where President Superman is from, and we're back at the White House. He is caught up because he has been away for a week. We also see that that Thomas gets to see that his Fortress of Solitude is in the Oval Office, a little different from our Superman. He just states it's more convenient. They go into this whole Batman and Superman mission thing because they're after Lex Luthor. He is found out that he is the one that made that ship that is able to travel through the different multiverses. They do actually track down where the Lex Luthor is and find out he has been murdered and someone stole his ship, so now it turns into this who killed Lex Luthor and why did they take the ship type thing. We see over here on Earth Zero that Agent Cameron has survived from her meeting with Captain Atom, and we also learn how it happened that Director Bones sent this ex-Radic kind of villainous to go save her at the last second. We also learned that he does have the first Green Lantern, Alan Scott, and Black Obsidian captured after they broke into the facility, and they are being loaded onto this ship. X-rated is X-Radic, or I think that's her name. But she's always in this X-ray type. She looks like she's in 3D kind of. But they are being loaded on this ship that can travel into multiverses. Director Bones kind of goes into more detail with Cameron about how they are monitoring the multiverse because there has been a lot of visitors, especially from other multiverses that aren't their own, and they need to be more wary. They have this cool little spread where they show a whole bunch of different threats that have shown up, like the Batman Who Laughs, Perpetua, the Anti-Monitor. They also show different variations of the Batman and Superman, and a whole bunch of different other, like Wonder Woman. But they kind of show you that why he is watching all that, and she just doesn't buy it. He also states that they need to get off the ship, that wherever that ship's going, that it's not going anywhere nice, and we see that she doesn't believe it, and she shoots him in the leg, and he kind of cries out that they have been doomed. We also see that we catch up with the new Black Lantern, Roy Harper, the resurrected Roy Harper, is catching up with the I think it is the Justin Incorporated as they're going by now, and it's got like Power Girl and Atom Smasher and Jade. And Jade is the one that a lot of people are looking for, specifically like the original Green Lantern. That's his daughter and Black Obsidian's sister. They catch up with Roy and find, they at first are trying to take him out because he's a Black Lantern, and Jade recognizes who he is, and they revert him back to his like original state. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. He says something that has something to do with back at Earth Zero, and that they go into details about how they met that lady Extract or something, and how they were teleported into the bleed, into the multiverse. They are basically like catching up, and they ended up on this ship, and now they are with Roy, and so it's been confusing for both parties. But they are like on their way to Earth Omega, and when they get there, they his ring has been leading him there, but he's been seeing like pictures of his daughter and then pictures of Darkseid, and he kind of fails to mention that Darkseid has been a part of these visions. He doesn't mention it until they get there, but when they get there, they see that the anti-monitor like demon shadows have been activated, and they're at Earth Omega. So it seems like Darkseid might have something planned. He kind of freaks out. Roy Harper, the Black Lantern, freaks out, and they want to leave, and he's like, no, I got to get my daughter, and he kind of, bursts out of the ship, and it causes it to explode. They end up hitting the ground. We catch up with Batman and Superman, President Superman, and they are back at their facility, like under the investigation of the original ship, and Machine Head is supposed to have been, figuring everything out. There's this brief little conversation with President Superman and Flashpoint Batman about how Bruce was, this great hero and stuff like that, and Thomas is a great hero himself, and President Batman isn't just up to date with who, Thomas Wayne as Batman, what he's really been doing. And last but not least, he was with Batman Who Laughs, and he was trying to kill, Batman and Damian, and he was actually a part of the whole, he was the reason why Alfred was killed. So he knows that Bruce is not happy with him, kind of thing, and that he's kind of a failure in his eyes and seen as a villain. And he goes into this where he sees, all these different versions of Bruce, and he's always been known as this great hero. And it kind of gives you this feeling that maybe at this point we're finally going to get to see a true hero, Flashpoint, Thomas Wayne type thing. At the same moment he's having this epiphany, we also see the reveal that Machine Head all along has been working to destroy all the multiverses, and that's been the reason why his ongoing investigation of the ship. We also find that he is attached with this injustice group here, and they have been revealed, and we see all kind of various different villains that are part of the injustice group. And that is the end of this issue. Next, but not least by far, but we have Future State Gotham issue number 4, and it is a connecting variant covering. Let me see if I can do this right. But it is Harley and Punchline on the covers. It is a big moment for Punchline fans. This is the first time we've seen her in Future State after the events of A-Day. It should be a 3-part connecting variant, because if you notice, Punchline's eyes are not on Harley Quinn. She is actually looking in a different direction, and she is looking at Mother Panic, who shows up in this book as Hunter Panic. So it basically starts out, and it's setting up the Peacemaker, and it's set up this other Peacemaker, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna one up, Red Hood, and I'm gonna get higher on the status quo, and I'm gonna go after Punchline. They catch up with Harley Quinn, and she is on the extreme hunt of Punchline after the events of the Joker War and her first outing with Punchline. They show you that Punchline is up and kicking, and she has her her own Joker gang still around her kind of thing. They do this brief little like in the past thing where she goes to pick up something after she arrives back in Gotham and with her gang, and they go to this like her hideout, and she ends up like finding this bracelet that's made out of teeth that the Joker gave her, and tells her the story about like how he made it from all her enemies. It was all the teeth, and it was a gift given, out of his love and this and that. While she's at this hideout, that's when Harley Quinn enters the scene, and basically is out for blood. They basically start to fighting, and this is where, like, I mean, for those of you don't know, but Punchline is a like master chemist, and she has a like very extreme toxin. She's immune to a ton of toxins and stuff like that, especially the Joker's toxin and stuff like that, where she doesn't need to wear a gas mask. But she reveals some of her more chemical status quo, and she injects these two guys with venom serum and the man bat serum taken from Kurt Langstrom, and they turn into these hyena hybrid, kind of Ninja Turtle looking. But so Harley Quinn ends up like fighting them. At the same time, Punchline over here is getting better equipped. She is also highly high tech. She invents a lot of different stuff, not just different toxins, but she is loaded up with kind of like rocket launch arm, like wrist launchers. At the same time as they are fighting, all of a sudden Hunter panic busts through a wall. She is a fellow Gotham hero that is in Gotham, and she has super strength. So that's they kind of show you that while she's busting through the wall or whatever with the hammer. We see oldie Venti Punchliney over here. She kind of activates these little rollerblade skate things and kind of sends some rockets off towards Hunter and Harley Quinn and blows up the building. We see that Harley and Hunter have barely escaped, and they are hanging by a thread. Harley Quinn quickly jumps off, leaves Hunter panicked there, and Harley takes off on this futuristic looking motorcycle they show right here, and is hot pursuit after Punchline. There's a lot of cool penciling it's in this book, but basically the majority of the book is like this high-speed chase and a lot of comedy and action stuff between Hunter, Punchline, and Harley. Eventually it gets into the story when they do finally catch up to each other, and for the most part, Harley wants to fight, and eventually kind of gets into this backstory about how she's trying to tell Punchline about Joker's doing the exact same thing she was to her. She even goes into great detail how she got the same bracelet made of teeth. Punchline's still like, come on, like, you're not listening to me. I'm not talking about that Joker. And it is revealed that she's talking about another Joker. She titles him the next Joker. But it shows kind of Hunter and Punchline, Hunter and Harley Quinn capturing Punchline, tiring her up, and leaving to go do whatever, we don't know. We see Hunter kind of freaking out. They do show design concepts for Hunter Panic's futuristic, future state look. They also have Punchline's little futuristic look here. Next one is like a little side story, and it's just about like, it's this whole black and white comic about how Batman's taking out these Joker thugs, and how these Joker thugs are going to extreme extent to protect this case that Joker gave them, and the extreme cases, to stop Batman from getting the case, and at the end of the day, the case ends up exploding, and the henchmen are all like magically surprised that the Joker was that tasked them on protecting, the briefcase, and Batman's like, yep, that's Joker for you, And it was a great issue. All these books, you know, I mean, they are great art, they are great story, the pacing, every single one of these issues. I can say Rorschach, due to the way it was released, I need to go back and read it because it is a lot more in-depth story and mystery. But still, they're all great reads and really great pickups, in my opinion. That's what I got. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I have another video coming for you. That's all I got. Alright. Bye, guys. Evil out.